for Chelsea is that they have climbed into second place. They are just 4 points behind the leaders Liverpool, who didn't play this weekend after the Merseyside derby was postponed due to safety concerns around the weather in the northwest. Arsenal and Manchester City are both in the top 4, but they're only a point better off. They both drew. Forest's big win against Manchester United propels them into 5th. So those poor results for Spurs and Man United mean that they're both in the bottom half. Leicester and Crystal Palace remain above the bottom 3 after securing a point apiece. Wolves play West Ham this evening. A win no longer enough to lift Wolves out of the relegation zone. Southampton lost to Villa, and they don't want to see that gap at the bottom widen, where they are in danger of being cut adrift. Already looks like there's a bit of a gap opening at the bottom of the table. Mina Rzouki is here, Sean Wright-Phillips is here. It feels very strange not to be starting by talking about Manchester City, Liverpool or Arsenal in terms of the title race, because because the big winners of the weekend are Chelsea.
And it was quite impressive in the end, because when you consider the 2 mistakes they made to concede the goals, you look at Chelsea now and you feel like offensively it seems like it's really in order. There's so much going on. I thought Jadon Sancho as well was very good. Obviously Cole Palmer's doing his great stuff, but like it's defensively, and they just need professionally to tighten up everything. I think now Chelsea, if they can get, for me, a goalkeeper, a top goalkeeper. I thought Ramsdale would have been perfect for him, but and that Thiago Silva, the experienced centre half, then I think Chelsea are very much in this fight, without a doubt. They're in the fight now, but really in the fight with that, because for me, they've got everything. Even when they went 2 down, I think a couple of seasons ago, that Chelsea kind of collapsed under Potter, maybe under Poch, whoever it is. They completely fall away, but like that Chelsea team's so strong mentally.
Yeah, that's what I think is interesting about what's happening under Enzo Maresca, is that every week it's maybe a different style of challenge, and we're learning something new about them. And then that game yesterday at Tottenham, again, was something different for them to overcome.
Yeah, it was very, very different in many ways. And in many ways, Cucurella's lucky it was who was the manager, because if it was Mourinho, the chances are he would have been subbed. He believed in him, gave him the faith, gave him the trust. He subbed his boots and he came on.
By the way, very similar pair on.
I think the other ones had blades on, from what I'm hearing, and these one, they went more.
You know the thing with that, Kels, that people would think that it's like, oh, it's unfortunate. That is what you are doing the warm-up for. So there's no way, if he's moving or slipping that much, then the warm-up, he couldn't have been stable. Those are the kind of things that, like Enzo Maresca mentioned, those things will cost you.
I don't think they're blades.
And even that, Dad, you say like he couldn't have been like, I don't think that means in the warm-up. He wasn't moving sharp enough. Because he isn't testing
those routes.
And they got punished, unluckily, but the 2 finishers were well taken.
There they are
in the bin, aren't they?
Not good for their sponsors.
That's the thing. The big losers of the weekend were Cucurella's boot sponsors. They'll be furious about that. But look, he changed his boots, didn't slip for the rest of the game, and actually he only gave the ball away twice in the first half. There was only, I think, one other player who did better than that, and both occasions they led to the goal. So it was unfortunate in a way.
I mean, how unlucky
for Cucurella. It was the position that he was in. It was the fact that Spurs were able to capitalise on it. But overall, Chelsea's performances week in, week out are improving, broadly speaking, and they are starting to suggest that they're the real deal, even if not for this season, then definitely going forward.
What's youngest team in the league at the moment, and when you think about the fact that we all sort of laughed about the fact that they had all the squad depth, you know, that they had bought so many players, how are they going to fit them all the memes about them working out in the gym because they just didn't have enough room, and actually at a time when everyone needs squad depth, they've got it, so they can replace players so perfectly. I think the fact that you've got a coach who knows how to tinker with the side when he notices straight away where Badiashile needs to be, where Caicedo needs to move, and how he can correct what was wrong in the setup, then that is a masterstroke. That is what his secret weapon is. But yes, Chelsea are looking strong. They have that fight back. They have the players that are now showing why we paid a lot of money for them at the time, why they paid a lot of money for them, and Are they the team that's going to run Liverpool the closest, or is this going to be a temperamental side, because it is a young side? And so you wonder, and honestly, my mouth dropped when I realized that they've got the third strongest defense. I mean, we look at them and they're so open, and yet actually they haven't conceded as much as we thought.
This is what I mean, in respect of an experienced centre-half to shepherd it now, to tell people, you know, like for instance, even Badashili's pass back to Cole, it's the kind of thing that triggers Kells. That triggers the press, Sean, because you know it's bouncing to him. He's going to at least need to take a touch. So that will trigger someone else to say, right, I'll close him. So then he's going to have to give him a ball that he's going to not be ready for. And so so we can push them in there. And that's exactly what happened. So those are the things that you want an experienced player to tell you. Everything has to be sharp at that stage of the game, especially if you're going to go for the big trophies. I think with Chelsea, they're well ahead of schedule. They're probably trying to get themselves from, like, obviously from Conference League to the Premier League, to the Champions League. That's what they're probably focusing on more than anything for me. And when you look at the two teams as well, it's almost like a B team and an A team. So what would be interesting, Kels, is if they start going out of those competitions, then how do you keep everybody happy in that respect?
I think he'll do it the same way. I think what he's done, he's created a little thing within the squad that if you want to play on the weekend, you have to be at this height. Sancho waited his time. Every time he's got his chance, he's shown why he should be starting. Then he plays in that Spurs game. And for me, if Cole Palmer doesn't score 2 goals, he would be my man of the match. Or player of the match, I should say, sorry. So I think what that's helped is a lot for Cole Palmer, because now the ball doesn't always go to Cole Palmer. So now you have to worry about Jadon Sancho. Not only Jackson's runs in behind, but now they got Neto, who's going to cause you loads of problems. And for me, as soon as Lavia got a hold of that midfield, I reckon after about 15, 20 minutes, that's when, for me, the game started changing, when he started popping those balls between the lines to the players that can hurt you.
He had a really good first half performance, Lavia, brought off at half-time, because he said he was feeling something in his hamstring, but he had... We'll come on to the red card incident in a second, but he had taken a knock to the head as well. But even when you look at Lavia and the way that Maresca's managing to get him and Caicedo, and so he's playing him in at right back, and then he's getting Enzo Fernandez a bit further forward. So it feels like those three players were never going to fit in an 11 together, and yet he's found a way for that to happen.
Yeah, it fits at the moment, because obviously Caicedo...
Is that they've got the option. It might not be that it's one or the other. It might be either or, just depending on the
it's something that
and it might even change during the course of a game.
It may do, but what they've seen is that's something that they can definitely do against certain teams. If you know, maybe different wingers, or you might need to change that, because someone, let's say Diaz, you're playing up against Diaz and Liverpool, he's going to go both ways and cause problems. Then Caicedo's got more of a defensive right back problem, and you know, but if he's able to invert and play, and then they're able to cover, it looks very stable. Looks very stable.
If we're going to qualify that Chelsea were like deliriously happy at the final whistle, because it's Tottenham and because they'd been 2-0 down in the game as well. But if we are going to qualify, were penalties, that they could have had a player, so too could Tottenham, could have had a player sent off in the game, Caicedo, who would have been... Look at the fact that 2 of their goals were penalties, that they could have had a player, so too could Tottenham, could have had a player sent off in the game, Caicedo, who would have been, you know, who was instrumental in a lot of those big decisions in the match. Do we just need to temper it slightly, do you think?
I think that's a fair point to make, considering the fact that when we sit here and most people are very happy to be critical of Tottenham, but then realise that it's only a 1-goal margin. And I think overall, when you watch the match, Chelsea control a little bit more than Tottenham, that seemed to be in and outside. When they celebrated, it's with all their heart. You're seeing a lot of grit, something that I would have said that we've seen before in Chelsea in a while. You know, reclaim those emotions right now, and looking at the way that their performers are playing at the moment, you would say that actually, even when they were 2-0 down, there was always this hope for you that they were going to win that. And I think that the performance, more than the result early on, showed you that perhaps they were the team that should win this.
There's 2 sides to that coin as well. One, it's Spurs being 2-0 up, and you don't necessarily feel hugely confident of them holding on to the lead. We'll talk about them in a second. Just on the 2 red cards, because they were huge moments, of course, as they are in Caicedo. And there was one potential Caicedo, first of all, because I think this is the one that, certainly in the UK commentary, on initial, was seen as an absolutely definite red card. I think of it, what VAR said was
Massive enough.
For him not to even get a card, or for the ref not to have a look himself, I think is
Understood it. You'd have still thought, well, it didn't seem like it was excessive, so you feel, well, that's just a follow through that's kind of just on it. But like, those ones, I can't understand why they, like, for me there, he's gone for the ball, there is no excessive force in it. And so you feel to yourself, it's clumsy. It's clumsy. So then if you're clumsy and you're out of control, then that a problem?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The point of it is to stop bad injuries happening to players. Does that if that was against you, would you be
the excessiveness of it? If he's going harder and he's maybe off the ground a bit or something, it feels like he wasn't going to break his leg. That's the thing.
Does that just depend on the player though? If that was a different player,
he might have been going harder.
Might have been completely different.
I'm confused, Kels, with the height in which he contacted him. That for me was dangerous.
The shin.
So they're saying, but it was high, but it wasn't hard enough. But it was high.
And late.
Yeah.
But it's in control.
This is the thing. He seemed like he was in more control because it actually seemed like the power was coming off of the excessiveness.
Before we leave the sort of Chelsea side of things, which is on Cole Palmer and coolness, the composure to score the second penalty. He said I
just love it because I just don't think I would ever, in front of everybody as well like that, and then probably the way to do it, because obviously you could totally trust but like it was so out of the blue for me that he was going to take that penalty. But it was beautiful and magical to watch. It went in so slow, I thought that Fraser could have turned around and caught it.
He was embarrassed that if he did turn
and try it, it would have looked really bad. But it was a beautiful way to end, especially with everything that was going on with him, throwing all the stuff at him and him like smiling and laughing. It's beautiful. That's the way you answer.
And now he is the most successful penalty taker in the Premier League because he's scored all 12 of the penalties that he's taken. That's the longest 100% record.
Brilliant.
I thought you were coming in on that. I thought you were.
It was interesting because they
brought it up with a Panenka.
They asked him about who he would want to take a penalty to save his life, and I wish he could share it himself. But he said Mario Balotelli at the time.
That is a very, very, very good match, and Chelsea. They really played well. They play like a unit. They play like a team. That coach called Enzo Maresca is cooking something. He's really, really cooking something. From 2 goals down and score 4 goals unreplied. After they scored the 4 goals before Tottenham scored the 3rd goal. That is to show you how momentum this team has going forward. They are the most dangerous team in Premier League. The attack is something else. A team that have scored goals more than any team in Premier League. More than any team in England. And the 2nd best scoring team in Europe. Top flight league. That is to show you how clinical this team is. And they are too young. And they are fearless. If they can come from 2 goals down to 4-2, for their mind, they can score anybody. They are not afraid of. That is the problem. You will score them, that is true. But can you stop them scoring you? Now it has become impossible right now. So I believe that Chelsea are going in a good direction. And them also don't want to admit that in their title race. But I believe we are in title race. Because this team right now, they are where nobody expected them to be. They are kind of the team that is coming without anybody detecting that they are coming. Some people realize Chelsea after this Tottenham match, but it's not. Everybody will still doubting them. because they always concede goal. But the problem is, can you stop them scoring you? People like Cole Palmer have break Premier League record, the most successful penalty taker in Premier League. That is massive. That a boy of like 20 or 22 years. Because Yaya Toure is the old holder of the record, 11 goals. Cole Palmer 12 goals without missing anyone. That is great achievement. If you ask me, people like Sancho that Man U say that is crap, is nonsense, is this and this and this. We can criticize our owners as we want, but all the things they did, all of them is not wrong. Some are, some are not. Signing Sancho, obligation to buy Sancho 25 million. That is a bargain for a caliber of a player like Sancho. So I believe that this team is really going well and they are cooking. They just need small touches. Maybe in the summer or in January, this team will be a team to reckon with. Enzo Fernandez, after a family issue, now the guy have shown the reason why Chelsea pay kind of money they did. So somebody like Casedo, that one is on another level right now. He's best DM as I'm talking to you right now in Premier League. The guy that is everything go through him. He cannot pass without him seeing you. So that is another thing. So this Chelsea, in short, now till January, everybody will change their mind how they think about Chelsea in a positive way.